In this video, we're going to go through the dwolla portion of like registration costs because there's one extra step. We have to create a form with dwolla. That is accessed at forms.dwollalabs.com, and we will log in. We hit sign in, and it brings us to our dashboard. These are the forms that have already been created, and it tells us if it is active, number of checkouts, etc. We can create a new form by clicking the bottom blue button down here. We want to set the status as active, the form title, and it'll automatically create a form URL. Let's see, this address is already taken. It will tell you and highlight this in red and say this URL is already taken. Then just adding something else to make it a unique URL, because the whole world is using this. So if someone has already used something, and it will be already have taken. So adding, something like the year at the end of the event would be fine. This form URL, this is going to be useful because this is where when we do the conditional logic of that redirect to the form, this is this address. So if you have already watched the video on forms, that will look familiar. If not, it won't. Putting in a URL for success, I usually either put the, if it's an event, for example, I'll put in the address to the event page. But in this case, as just this test event, I'm just going to go ahead and put in the generic MilwaukeeSynod.org website. Dwolla destination, you don't need to change that. Form description, this is going to be some kind of text that the user is going to see on the form. Let's say registration costs. So if you have a breakdown of the costs, if there's different levels, you can put those in the form description. Just note that there isn't a way to carry over the amounts, the calculated amounts from the website form into this form. Not yet, anyway. We can uncheck this. We can assume the fee. That basically means that the 25 cents will be taken out of what the Greater Milwaukee Synod receives, as opposed to them being charged an additional 25 cents. I would like to allow guest payments and allow bank transfers. Great. So now we get to the form fields. Right now there's just one default form field, which is a value and caption here. So I would say, registration fee. If there's a set amount, go ahead and put that set amount of the event registration fee into the default value. If it is, there's no options, people aren't going to be changing the amount, or they're not going to be paying for multiple people all at the same time, etc., you can go ahead and click that to make it a strict amount, and it will not allow the user to change that value and how much that they are submitting for the registration fee. Otherwise, if that is not a strict amount, people can change that. You can add additional fields by just clicking on the buttons along the top. These are kind of helpful if you want to create a form and just have the your name or what event this is for. I can also go ahead and delete any fields. I hit OK. I can go ahead and add an email field. So I can say your email, and let's say make it required. So if we need to contact them if their payment doesn't go through, then they're for sure putting their email address in there. If you wanted to add kind of a drop down, for there's maybe different selection, different options, like food options, etc., you can add that as well. Okay, once I'm done with that, I hit my save button down at the bottom, and it brings me back to my forms summary. So it'll show me all of the checkouts that I've had, right? I have none. I can download a file of all of them, or I can embed this form on a page. If I click up here on the top right, I can go and view it. This is where I'm grabbing that link for the redirect, because once we hit, if we have that option for people to pay online and they hit that register button, we want to redirect them to this page. And then they'll put in their registration fee, their email address, and hit continue and complete the payment process. And go back to my dashboard. And I'll show you one event here. I've got this GMS one, which I have. I'm going to go and view this as a more generic form. We can reuse this one because we've got an option or a form for people to put in their name. The registration amount, it's a free form, so people can add whatever amount it is. It's not a set amount. Say which the event is for and any additional notes, and hit continue. So this form can be reused, just grabbing this URL and then telling people through the process to make sure to note that this is for whatever the event that they're signing up for. You can also just send people this link directly and say, here's a way you can pay the registration fee online. We have all the additional information, etc. So one quick way to just reuse that and then just allow people to put in a different event each time. And that's it.